Hello, you lovely people out there. Welcome back to my channel, The Silver Crown. If this is your first time joining us, thank you for stopping by. I hope you will subscribe to the channel and recommend it to your friends. Now you might be wondering, what in the world is she doing? Well, what we're doing is we are burning hard wood in order to make ashes that we're going to cook on the stove in some water and turn it into soap. Now, not the ashes, but with the other oils and things like that. So this is another project that I have going. If you want to see the other project that I have going, go over to my travel channel, go up to the top of my home screen on this channel, and you'll see where it says My RV Life. Click on that and you'll see what that project is I have going on over there. But right now I want to make some natural black soap for my hair and skin. And you need potash in order to make soap, because the potash turns into lye, and you need lye to make soap. Well, it's recommended that you use any kind of hardwood or natural resources, plantain leaves or whatever. I have some plantain leaves that I've already cooked, but now I'm burning some pecan wood from my pecan tree that I have back here in the backyard, and we're going to burn that down to an ash and let it go. Although I think my husband's got it a little bit high there because the tree is, Lord have mercy. Anyway, so we're going to burn that down till it gets to ashes, and then I will take it in and mix it with water and cook it down so that it will, wind is blowing. I'll be able to add it in. I'll try to talk through it as I'm doing it. This is my first time doing it, so I'm bound to make a mistake. I hope not. But I do have most of my equipment except for my long electric stir stick that I'm going to need to do this. So after I get that, then I will try to walk you guys through everything that I'm doing, and you can let me know if you've ever made your own soap or not, black soap or whatever. Mine's is going to be black soap. I'm just going to use different fragrances in it as I go along. So there you go for right now. Okay, so we let this burn all night. Whoops, uh-oh. And it's windy and cold now, so this is what we have left. We transferred it last night from this pan to here. So now we're going to have to strain this out to get all these big particles and stuff out of here, and put it through a fine mesh screen, so that all we have is the ash, and then that will be our potash that we're going to use to make our soap. Okay, so I had my ashes in this big pan here that we had put on the grill and let it burn out through the night. And I ordered this fine mesh sifter so that I could eliminate the big chunks of carbon and stuff that did not burn. I sifted it out, and this is what I have, a very fine powder-like substance that's going to go in some water. Now there's two ways you can do this. I've seen two ways that it can be done. One is to put this in a bucket, inside of a bucket, and the bucket that goes inside the other bucket has a bunch of holes in the bottom, and you can pour rainwater or distilled water over it and let the water leach through the ashes, and that'll be your lye water, right? So you can do it that way, or you can take the ashes, put them in a pot, put some water in the pot, stir, 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 and just cook it until it thickens a little bit, and that's your lye. At any rate, you do need eye protection, skin protection, and lung protection So my husband went to the store to go get me some goggles, which I do have, but I don't know where they are, for my garden, and some long gloves and a face mask, just so that I don't breathe in the fumes or anything. When I was sifting this powder is so fine that I did cough a couple of times. If you could see it on the side of the bowl, it's like talcum. So, woo, and just putting it kind of close to my nose is making me cough a little bit. But anyway, so that came out pretty good. When I leach it though with water, I will probably put either some gauze or an old t-shirt in the bottom of the bucket, excuse me, and pour the water and let it leach through that way so I could catch any more sediment that might be there. And then we'll see. I have a pH tester. I'll Google it to see what the pH needs to be for lye water. I think it might have to be different for each oil that you use. I don't know. So I'm kind of learning this as I go. So hang in there with me. We're going together. Now let me turn this around and show you that I had drying for a little while. And I'm cooking them. I'm going to cook them until they turn black. Literally turn black. And then I'm going to put them in some distilled water on my stove and give them a stir until they cook down. I have some shea butter and my molds and all that kind of stuff, and I'll show you that in a minute. I meant to mention this. You can get these frozen. I got mine frozen at our local Mexican store, which is also where I got the tamarind pods from. Very cheap. I think it was $1.99 or $2.99 for a lot of leaves. So I bought 3 packages of that. This is the last one that I'm drying out because they keep them frozen. So I unthawed them and I had them out there hanging up in my laundry room drying out. The ones that are on the grill right now have been dried for like 2 weeks or so. So my husband is going to cut these up into smaller pieces. It's going to go in that metal pan down there, and it'll go out on the grill just like the rest of it. And then it'll go into the blender after it's burned, and then it'll go into a slurry, and then I will add the other stuff to it, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, you lovely people, so this is my second batch of plantain leaves, which is that I'm burning down. I would strongly recommend that you do not do this in your house. I know that people have done it in their house. One lady was recording it while she was doing it in her house, and the fire department showed up because, as you can see, it makes a lot of smoke, and also you'll probably destroy your oven. It will leave a black soot in your oven. So that's why I'm doing it on the grill outside in a big ventilated open space so that it's safer. We got one more batch of leaves to burn, and after it gets done, I will add it to this pot, and then we'll go in the kitchen and start our slurry, and then start our double boiler process and gather the rest of our stuff. I don't know if I want to put any fragrance in it or not, but we'll see. I've got some essential oils. I have patchouli and lavender and jasmine and all that, but we'll see how it turns out, and I'll be back in a minute. Let me show you what I have here. This is 5 pounds of shea butter that I ordered. I got this today. I have this shea butter. I've never dealt with these companies before, so we'll see how it goes. I don't think that I'm going to be using all of this to make the black soap. I'm going to leave some of it aside just to have some for my hair when I mix up my my do-it-yourself butter mixture. And I've got my molds here for my soap. So I think I had more than enough. These really aren't that big. They look big on the video, but they're really not that big. And so we'll see how it turns out. And I have this. This was tamarind pods. And I bought, I think, a pound or 2 pounds of this. And we took the tamarind, which is like a fruit, out of the pods. And the pods are very dry. The tamarind itself is very sour. And I just mixed it with some demerara sugar and spicy peppers and stuff like that and made a candy out of that. But then we took this and put it in a mortar and pestle and crushed it, because this is going in the soap as well. So the idea is to take the leaves that are outside, get them black, burned, and then I'm gonna put those in a blender and crush them up to a fine powder. Then it has to go on the stove and cook in some water, distilled water, or distilled water. And then I'll start mixing this in, but I have to do this, melt this down in a double boiler. So as we're doing that process and going along in that process, I'll keep you in touch with what's happening with my soap experiment.